Hey everybody, it's your man Tight coming to you with another true spook story. Now before I begin, I'm gonna ask that you hit that like button, go and subscribe to the channel, and share me with your friends and family because you know these stories are the best. Now, let's get on with this here story. So now this story is gonna take place in Orlando, Florida, but in the Pokey Bean Projects, that's Ivy Lane, if nobody don't know what I'm talking about. So this story gonna take place in Ivy Lane projects, and they're gonna expand around Orlando, and it's even gonna go all the way to New York and Miami. So keep your boots on. So there was this guy by the name of Alvin. He was a little older than me. When I was 6 years old, my mama had got off crack cocaine drugs, and she had moved to Ivy Lane projects, off Edgemore Street, but we call it the Poking Bean, and she had moved in the first cluster. So it's 1984. I'm 6 years old, and I'm running around outside playing around. But there was this dude that his eyes looked weird. His eyes had kind of like a glow, and he had a stiff neck. Like he just would always be like he was looking down, like his neck would be up, and he would be kind of looking down at you. So he never turned his head. Like he probably had some kind of neck muscle or like a bar in his neck or some shit. That's all I can remember. So I'm playing outside my mama complex. This our first apartment we had. We was sleeping in cars. We were so poor, man, and my mama was on drugs, so you know how that go. Don't rest her soul. She did what she could. So I'm in the back of the project, our backyard, and I'm playing up and down. So I see the dude uh by the name of Alvin, but we call him Looker Hill. So I'm gonna refer to him as Looker Hill from here on out in this motherfucker. So I'm in the backyard playing with the little Tonka toy truck, at 6 years old, 7 years old. So I look up and I see the dude, Looker Hill, walking towards the front of the projects from like Magic Fry area, Old Winter Garden Road. He was walking up the sidewalk there. So as I'm looking down playing with the toy and shit, I look up and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" Cause cordial, little fat chubby ass little kid. "How you doing?" And he didn't say nothing, but he just like started staring at me real hard. But his neck didn't turn with him. It just was his eyes, and he just kept his head going straight. So he wanted to stare at me for a long time. So he started walking slow, but he never turned his neck. So I thought this shit was kind of weird. So I started playing with the toy. I said, "The dude then wave back at me, let me go in the house." Say the dude then wave back at me, let me go in the house. He may be a creepo, sicko, stranger danger, whatever. So I run in the house and I go get grandmama. Now look at here at the time couldn't have been no more than like 16 years old. I'm six, so I get about 10 years older than me, I'd say. Right? So I run in the house and I say, "Grandma, it's some strange man with some messed up eyes looking at me. I think he a ghost." So I run out. So me and grandma run back outside, and grandma like, and he was just taking his time because he wanted to know who was moving in that house, who was living in that apartment. He was a very nosy, attentive person. So she was like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And he didn't say nothing. So grandma thought the boy was ignoring her. And she like, "Nigga, didn't you hear me? You fucking with my grandbaby? Don't make me have my son whoop your motherfucking ass. Get the fuck out of here." So Looker Hill still ain't break his stride. He just looking, and then as he got past, he was just like neck still stiff. And he like looking back at he on the neck still stiff, and he cutting his eyes at grandma as he walking off. So I said, "Shit." So grandma say, "Stay close to the goddamn porch. Don't go back out there by that window there. Cause sick bitches like that can grab you up." So I listened. Yes, ma'am. So now, me and my best friend, we run around the neighborhood, and again we see Looker Hill. This is how I found out his name was called Looker Hill. Because one of the older boys that was friends with my brother now, they were like, "Look at here, old stupid ass nigga." They said, "Look at here, old stupid ass nigga." So I thought they were telling me to look at them and calling me a stupid ass nigga. So my feelings were hurt. I started crying. And they used to be like, "Look at here, old sissy ass nigga." So I thought they was insulting me the whole time because I didn't know the dude name was Looker Hill. Let alone I didn't know he couldn't talk. So after I go and tell my mom and grandma that my brother letting them pick on me and shit, I go tell my mom and grandmama that, my brother and them letting all these motherfucker dudes in the hood pick on me and shit, calling me, you know, sissy and all that stuff there. So my feelings were hurt. So grandma go out there and grandma And my mama, they were like, why y'all talking bad about my boy? And they like, why you let him talk bad about your brother? And my brother was like, they ain't say nothing to that man. They ain't say nothing to that boy. So then we all figured out who the dude was, because keep in mind, we just moved in the project. He was already there. So like, no, we weren't telling him to look here. He say, that's that man's name. Look at here. His name Alvin, but we call him look at him because he can't talk and he always staring you down, mean mugging you. So now it came to pass. Okay, this was a funny thing, funny story. You know, told me to get out my little fat feelings and shit. Cool. So now from hence day on, grandma knew the boy was okay. I knew the dude was okay. He would just look at here. He was a mute. He was a cherry brain. He couldn't talk. None of that shit though. Now look at here would record everything if you wanted to know any information, anything that went on in the hood. Cause look at here, never sat down. He never stopped moving. He never like went in a house. We don't know where look at here lived to this day. So look at here would walk the neighborhood from Magic Fry to Big B, Lake Man Garden. He would even walk the Mercy Drive. And he never said nothing. Everybody just always was cool with him. It was just like, look at here. He just gonna be there. But unbeknownst to them, look at here was a talented artist. Like when I say he was a talented artist, he was a very talented artist, people. He would take like a regular sketch pad or paper towel or anything sheet of paper from school, and he would give him a pencil. He would draw anything that was going on in the scene at that time. So the reason how we knew of what was going on in the neighborhood, look at here would draw it for us. He'll point, he'll like just like do hand gestures and shit. But more so, his paintings were spot on. You knew who he was talking about. You would know exactly who he was talking about by the paintings and shit. So everybody really started taking a liking to Look Here. I mean, for the whole Orlando knew who Look Here was. Some people called him Alvin. Some people called him Look Here. So one day, me and Grandma, we was at Big B buying some back and some ice cream, and Grandma seen Look Here. So Grandma said, "Come here." Now Look Here couldn't hear worse of shit, but none of that there, because he was mute. He can't hear, he couldn't talk. One of the two. I know he never said a word. He was kind of like mute. So Grandma flags him over and say, "Come here, baby." So he come here, and as Grandma talking to him, he walking up to Grandma. He looking in her car with his neck up, looking down. So Grandma like, this boy give me the creeps all the time. The boy give me the creeps. But she can't do it. So she called him over there, and they got to talking. And I'm hearing Grandma. So Grandma called him over there, and and Grandma get explaining to him and trying to get information out of him. And basically, she was just like, "How you doing? Who's messing up in the neighborhood? Does anybody need help?" She was just trying to find out any information she could about old Look at Here. So Grandma said, "Well, let's get him a notepad." So Grandma goes to Family Dollar over there off of Gulf Street on her way home from work, and she buy him like this drawing notepad. My brother could draw too, but my brother left-handed, so he was the same way. Him and Look at Here kind of had the same energy going on. But my brother could talk, and my brother was kind of good at basketball. So Grandma bought my brother an art pad, and she brought Look at Here an art pad. So Look at Here was going around, recording everything that happened on in the community. Every month, every week, whatever, when Look at Here came and brought the notepad to Grandmama, she would take it from him and she would give him a brand new notepad. A brand new draw pad. So Grandma would stack these draw pads up in her room. And Look at Here did this shit like every day. We knew this man for a while. So Grandma, that was one of Grandma duties, supplying notepads to Look at Here. So Grandma kept supplying notepads to Look at Here. And every time she'll get them, she'll say, "Here, take these to him." And, I give him another one. So Grandma would give Look at Here a notepad a lot. So we had a lot of notepads from Look at Here. But I don't know if Grandma was looking at them at that time. So she ended up doing the same thing to my brother. She would give him a notepad, and when he filled his up, she would take it and she would store it in a separate place from where she stored Look at Here notepad. Now Look at Here had gotten to be so good that everybody knew him as he grew up, because I'm 6, 7, 8, I'm growing on 9 and 10. 4 years. Look at here in his 20s. So now he can really get into clubs. He can really get places. He part of the big boys. He dressing different. Now people paying look at here to draw them say like art. Like kids will pay the kids in school when they get a boyfriend or something in the project. They were like, look at here, draw us. And he'll like sit them up there and he'll draw paintings of them. But one thing look at here did with all his painting, he would draw them in situations and scenarios. That was the whole crazy thing about it. He would draw them in situations and scenarios. So a couple of the drawings from what I see with grandmama, there was a couple girls that was sitting up there with a man stalking them in the background. He would draw the trees and leaves, and you'll see like a head of a man leaning around the corner or leaning around the tree. And nobody paid attention, but he would draw the girls and be like somebody stalking them. So me and grandma figured that out later on in the game. But look at here would always draw these people in compromising situations or tell the future, so we thought. So grandma had the notepad. She didn't look in them. She didn't take none of it. She just was taking everything Look at here did and stocking them and storing. So one day Look at here started drawing a picture of Big Rhonda. So as he started drawing Big Rhonda had mixed it up with my sister, Ray Ray. So Big Rhonda and Ray Ray, they went to the back to the 10 clusters in front of Miss Little Rapper house, and they went to fighting each other. Pum, 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 pum. So Look at here followed him, and he sat on Miss Little Rapper porch, and he drew a picture. He drew a picture of them fighting. So everybody like clapping their fingers, flicking their thumb on their fingers, saying, "Oh man, I can't wait to see what he draw. He probably gonna draw a cartoon head or just a dust cloud." We making all kind of jokes. I'm about 10, 12 now. All of a sudden, Look at here like stood up and he started like walking around showing people the paper, pointing at it, because he couldn't talk. He was making them fucked up noises like that. Man, Look at here drew my sister on top of Big Rhonda ass, stumping her head in the ground. And as soon as we got through looking at Look at here painting or drawing, that's the same exact way my sister was stumping Big Rhonda head into the ground. And he also drew her brother, Kimbo, coming across the field to get her, like, and he drew him small. So we like, how you knew that was gonna happen? Look at here. So now I'm telling grandmama. So I go to grandma and say, Grandma, you really need to look at Hill's stuff. And I'm 12 years old, so she ain't really paying me no attention. I say, go look at the paint, see what he drew, Grandma, because he just drew Ray Ray back there fighting. And Ray Ray was stumping the girl head and he drew it before the fight was over with. Grandma say, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. I remember her blowing me off. I'll take a look at it. Get on out of here, bro. So about 2-3 weeks passed, Grandma didn't look at him, didn't do nothing. So Grandma started going getting his folders again, getting his notepad. She said, he ain't notepad in a while. Go check on him, make sure you're okay. So I go there, I say, look here, Grandma. I'm signaling to him. Grandma says, you ain't get your notepad. You need to bring a notepad to her. And he like, I'll be there. So Look at here had went and started buying his own notepads because he had started just drawing so damn much. Drawing a lot. Everything that went on in the neighborhood, he drew. If you was in a gang, he drew you was in a gang. If you was selling dope at the store, he drew you selling dope at the store. If you was shooting dice, he would draw you shooting dice. He was drawing situations for the whole hood, from Mercy Drive to from Mercy Drive, Ivy Lane, Coke and Bean, all that shit. He just knew what the hell was going on. You knew if Look at here drew it, it was real, because he only drew what he saw. So grandmama finally decided to look in that folder, and Look at here had drew grandmama, doing an offering sacrifice back there in New Malibu and burying it. She said, I didn't even know that bitch was around. I thought I was behind the house in the darkness. So Look at here was a creeper at the same time, y'all. Pay attention. So Look at here was documenting everything. So she goes and she started flicking up all Look at here stuff. Look at here had pictures of me. Look at here had pictures of everybody in the neighborhood. We knew who was going to see who at night, who had a man visiting. We knew who was selling dope. We knew who was doing murders. Look at here was documenting every single goddamn thing in the hood, baby, off of drawing alone. So grandma said, oh my God, we got to stop this motherfucker. I said, yeah, grandma. I said, that's bad. Because, not saying no names, my uncle had did something. And I just said, so my uncle had shot one of his rivals who came over there to Lake Mangar. hit him with a 44 Magnum in the chest, boom, splattered his ass, right? Look at here, done recorded and written and then drew that shit down. But this is how we knew that it was Uncle, uh, from what Look at here was saying. Because Look at here, and I saw this picture with my own eye. Look at here, he had the 44 he had, the trigger was kind of sharp, and if you shoot it, your hand will get caught under the trigger and it will punch your skin and cut you. So after he drew the dude whole busting open, but he also drew that Uncle had his finger stabbed with the 44 Magnum trigger. So that's how Grandma knew everything was good. Uncle even knew. So we was like, damn. So he was very observant. So Grandma was like, we got to stop him because he just in everybody's business. So Grandma stopped giving him the notepads, and Grandma didn't tell nobody in the hood that, you know, she had all his drawings up to like 5-6 years in a bin in a shelf. So y'all keep that in mind. I'm finna stop that bit right there, and that's where we're gonna get it at with the store, with the magazines or the drawing books, and Grandma done stored in a little bin in her closet. And look at here, Grandma said, well, we can't have him around here doing this because don't nobody know where he at and we don't know what he know. And the only thing it takes is the police to get him or somebody to get him and torture him and take all his information and stuff. So Grandma said, well, what up? Well, we got to do something. So Grandma had talked about 3 older witches in the community that she was rocking with. So they came up with a plan that if they was to have him still be around, that they would allow him to document certain supernatural things that's going on in the hood. She's like, well, we can't give him that notepad back because he sketches too good. So they said, well, let's get him a camera. So the old ladies went with Grandmama to, you know, I think it was Circuit City at the time back in them days. They were burgundy and white, if I can remember. They had went to Circuit City and they had bought him like a cheapo camera, you know, with a lens on it and some film. You had to roll the film up and put it on the inside of it. So they had bought him one of them cameras there, and they all did a spiritual ritual on it. They did a ritual on the camera. They prayed on the camera. They drew Shango's Veve on the camera. They drew Ogun's Veve on the camera. They just was drawing a lot of stuff, and they just smoked that camera out. They kept it for like 6-7 days doing ritual on it. So then they gave it to Look at here and told him, this is what you do. So then they taught him how to develop it, you know, in a dark room with the red light bulb. And they say don't take the film to like Walgreens or nothing to get it developed. You know, just make sure you go up to the dark room and you can use one of their houses for the dark. Whenever they had it, I'm not for sure, but I remember he had black fingers, so he must have been using the chemicals in the dark room. So they did that. So Look at here went around with his camera, snapping shots of everything. He had pockets full of camera rolls, brand new. After he would take it, he'd put it in the left pocket, pull out the other from his right pocket. He was documenting every single thing in the hood that went on. Even if you was selling dope, throwing dice, whatever, nobody cared because that's Look at here. Look at here wasn't the police. He didn't care. He was just a special needs dude that liked to record shit.